Hey, what's up? So, welcome to my new space. Isn't it lovely? Yes, I finally moved, and I am in a bigger and better space. That is so much to do, so much void to fill the space, but it's not complete. You can still kind of hear an echo in the room. Echo, echo. So back to business. Last time I did Bond from the Walton Files. Go check that video out. It's really good. I did a lot of work on that, so please check it out. It'll be really helpful if you guys do. So yeah, getting back to the basic, I want to customize this really weird horse doll that I found at Walmart one time. Yes, it's from Walmart. I don't know what brand of horse this is or what franchise it came from. I think it has something to do with hearts, but it's kind of like a My Little Pony, but not really a My Little Pony. Let's just get started. Let me show you what it is. Well, I'll start the video so that way we can see what the video is. This is a long intro, isn't it?
It's been a while since I've done something like this. I have the doll right here, and I have no idea what type of doll it was. I might have when I first bought it, but it's been a while now, and I don't remember what franchise this doll is from. Like I mentioned before, all I know this doll came from Walmart.
To the Walmart!
Anyways, I started off by removing the blanket on the back of the horse before removing the tail and hair from the doll. And I kind of struggled with removing the hair from the doll because number one, I couldn't get into the hair plug because something was in my way, and number two, I had to cut open the head just to get to the hair plug. So yeah, that was a journey, and it took me like a million steps just to get where I wanted. You got all that? No? Too bad. We're moving on. The next step that I did was to place the doll into a big bin and started cutting it apart with my Dremel tool. Yeah, this is a very good angle. A very, very, very good angle. So good of an angle that you can't see the shit. Beside the head, of course.
And now, transition. Wait.
Hello, it's me, DragonSnips. Alright, so, this is an intro for another video that I'm working on. I am working on a lot of projects. So if you remember in one of my latest videos, I worked on a sculpture, like a doll-based sculpture based on like this, not Five Nights at Freddy's. Of course it's not Five Nights at Freddy's. I worked on like this, I previously worked on this doll that I found this My Little Pony ripoff doll from Myers, and I worked on her, and that has to be one of my biggest and one of my favorite videos I've ever worked on. So I'm thinking about doing it again with a different doll. She's kind of broken. I've already started on the project. Well, yeah. So I plan on turning, if I can find an image of it right here, I plan on turning this horse into another zombie horse, but it's a lot more powerful than the previous zombie horse. So, just like what happened to this doll, it's time to put this doll together, like how I did with the Dino project. So, let's get started. Okay, so in order to get this guy to like the position that I want to work on his body, and I'm gonna work on his his head a little bit later. These are like the projects. The head is gonna be separate, but I do want to get the body parts all together, including what remaining of the feet. I did all the removal of his body parts off camera. I just felt that was the easiest for me. I have to use these wires because I'm really low on these. I was hoping to save them for like another project, but I need to get more wires for these. So I'm going to use hot glue for this project, and I'm just going to glue him all together in the position that I want. I'm probably also going to use up the last of my tin foil as well. And then I am just going to get started. So let's go.
With all of the pieces on my desk, it was time to finally put everything together. I grab out my hot glue gun and plug it right in and got to work.
What? This isn't this week's video? Who do you think I am? A dog?
Started by putting all the pieces together as I tried to figure out where to put each pieces in a place that needed to go for this project. And this took me forever. Like, I'm not even joking, it took me a while to figure out the placement of the figure. The point that I screwed up at some point, cutting off the wrong pieces, putting things in places that they weren't supposed to be. Yeah, that was my problem. Once I was able to get myself out of that problematic side of mission, I started adding epoxy sculpt to the doll, and while I'm doing that, let's take the time to talk about my link tree. Before we get to the rest of the video, let's talk about my social media. I have a link tree for all of my social media and other YouTube channels. I even have a tutorial and a shop as well. So if you want to check it out, link in the description below or on my YouTube channel banner. Thanks you guys so much for watching, and now let's get back to the video. Now that we're back here with the video, let's jump right back into the project. Like always, I added the first epoxy sculpt onto the doll to keep everything in place before adding in the detail. And now that it's complete, it's time to sand it down.
Another transition. How many do I have of these?
I am tired, as you can tell. So this is how far I got into him. So the next thing I'm gonna have to do with him is to sand him down, and then I'm going to continue sculpting. Yep. This is everything I need to do. And I am tired, and I am on my first cup of coffee. Yeah, so hey, I was actually not expecting him to stand. And let's just get going.
So I sanded down the figure before moving on to the next step. This would be the only time I ever sand this figure because you won't be seeing it afterward.
I now have my microphone on a skewer. So, this is how far I got to it. This is more of trust the process because it kind of looked like a rat at this moment, like a very hairy, like a hair, like a very hairless rat. That's what he's kind of reminding me of at this moment. But again, it's more trust the process than, yeah, this looks ugly as heck. So I'm just going to let him set for probably all day because it's technically you're supposed to let the epoxy sculpt set for 24 hours and then come back, sand him and all that stuff. But if I have time today, and when the epoxy sculpt like set enough for me to like, you know, not destroy my hard work already, I am probably gonna add more epoxy sculpt to it. This is actually probably for repairs and stuff, and not for art, but I'm gonna use it for art. I have been kind of like testing out different type of epoxy sculpt brands, see which one I like and which one I don't. The last one I used, I really did like. I probably should make a tier list of all the epoxy sculpt that I have used and like and would recommend, or to say save your money and not use it. I don't know about this one, but I am going to use this and I'm gonna see how it is. But again, I'm just gonna let him sit for a while because he needs to sit and cure probably overnight. So I'll be back.
Now it's finally time for me to add in the details on this doll. Finally, after all this time, I can finally add the detail to this doll. Sculpting is always fun to do, even though I complain about it half of the time, but sculpting always sends me to the zone where I don't have to worry about things or having to go to the grocery store to pick up some cat toys. Speaking of which, Rabbit needs some new toys. I enjoy adding in the little details or great details on the doll. As I'm adding the final details on the doll, it's finally time to go into another transition.
But another question. How many do I have of these? This is how far I've gotten with the sculpture. He's almost done. I just kind of need to sand him down a little bit because he does have like a lot of rough spots on him. And then I do want to like work on his tail. I mean, you could probably already tell that I've already probably I started sanding him a little bit. But I'm gonna sand him down just a little bit, and then I'm going to probably finish the sculpting off camera. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, we're almost done with this guy. He's almost done, and I can't wait. Aha!
Now it's finally time to add in the blush to this doll. And this will be the only time I ever blush the doll. Sadly, but it's good for me because blushing takes forever. By the way, I'll be playing Resident Evil 9 on my game whenever I get this game because I haven't bought it yet. Wait, no, I have the game by now. My ADHD got the best of me. And now we're...
Progress report. I finished sculpting this guy, and I have been really body blushing him and all that stuff. So I've kind of completed this side. Now I gotta work on this side, and once I finish this side, it'll kind of match alongside with this one. Oh, he smells. Of course he smelled. I sprayed him down. So yeah, he's coming along quite well. I'm very happy with how he is turning out, and I cannot wait to see what he looked like. So let's continue.
Wait, what the fudge? Now it's time to paint this guy, and this part was really fun to do. Not only did I add paint to it and do a wash all over the bone part, please don't take that out of context, but I also used some of my alcohol marker to complete the project as well, and I really like how it turned out in the end. Now it's finally time for the base, and no, I'm not talking about that base.
Oh.
The base was a bit of a struggle with me. One, I was using a new material for the base, so I wasn't used to this new material. Two, I didn't let it dry completely when I started to paint it. You can say it was my fault for not letting it dry, but I was impatient. Painting the base was a challenge, trying to figure out how to paint it correctly and how to make it look good. Once the painting was done, the next challenge was to add in the dirt and grass to the project. And because I didn't have the spray bottle for the glue, I had to dip a brush in said glue to make sure the glass and dirt didn't go flying off the base. And lastly, I added the bushes and other detail before adding in the zombie horse. And with that, this project is finally done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing and also commenting down below. It really helps get my video pushed out there on YouTube algorithm. Thank you again, and I'll see you dragons in the next video. Bye for now.